A typical day before I started taking medicine for the Addisons was brutal. I didn't sleep at all, but when I did go to sleep, I couldn't wake up. I didn't want to get out of bed. My whole body hurt. And it had gotten to the point beforehand where I honest to God, felt I needed to write a letter to my family saying goodbye. This is the end of my life. I know this is coming, but I couldn't get anybody to listen to me. I'm Lindy. I'm a television producer. I've been in the television business for about 12 years now, so it's a really high stress, kind of active job. It's really interesting. I get to meet a lot of great people and get to have a lot of fun. And I'm also an Addison's patient for about 6 months now, so I'm very new to it and I'm just discovering who I am again. So what Addison's is adrenal insufficiency. Your adrenal glands just don't work anymore, or they have a very, very reduced rate of working. You've got a lot of signs and symptoms that you're going to be looking for beforehand. Your coloration of your skin is going to be different. Like there's going to be dark patches on your knees and your elbows and your knuckles at different joints. But a lot of people do see themselves getting tanned when they're not being in the sun. So you have skin changes that go on. You have low blood pressure that stays low. It doesn't change very much. It's just really, really low. You've got salt cravings. You've got headaches and nausea. A lot of times your back is going to hurt, like your lower back. So you have to pay attention to a lot of these really vague signs and symptoms that could be misdiagnosed as everything else. But when you put them all together, you're going to kind of get Addison's out of it. You also have to be aware that this kind of stuff can lead to a crisis, what they call it, Addisonian crisis. You can pass out. You can get to the point where your kidneys fail, your adrenal glands have completely failed, and you can die from it if you don't pay attention. The frustration of not knowing what was wrong with me was just overwhelming. It really made me feel crazy at times, where physically I looked like nothing was wrong with me. I would go out with a smile on my face. I could go out and function during the day, but inside I was just falling apart. I was hurting so bad. When I finally did go to sleep at night, it took me forever to wake up, and just getting out of bed was ridiculously hard. I had an exhaustion really unlike anything I've ever felt before, and you really can't compare it to anything else until you actually feel it. But there was so much confusion about, well, is it me? Is this something that I'm making up in my own mind? The doctors don't know what's wrong with me, and they're doctors. This is what they do. So there was nothing. There was no outlet. There was nobody there, even family and close friends and stuff that could see the physical difference in me and see the attitude difference. There was just nothing, no support there. It really made me sit down and wonder, had I gone crazy? Had I just completely lost my mind? When I was first diagnosed, it was great, actually. It was like, finally, I know what's wrong with me, we can fix it. Even though I just gotten the news that I had a potentially life-threatening disease, it was really comforting to know what was wrong with me. And then I started taking the medicine, and immediately, of course, I was feeling so much better than I had been the previous 4 or 5 months. So everything was like, this is gonna work, this is gonna be great. And then we realized that, daily stresses differ. Your body differs, your body changes. This is not an X + Y = Z type dosage thing. You have to really pay attention to what's going on with your surroundings, with your body in itself, with being sick, being really emotional. Even if you're frustrated with the amounts and the unknowns and everything, go to a support group, go to some of the Facebook groups, go to some of the national agencies. There are people that understand what you're feeling because they felt it too. You've got the National Adrenal Disease Foundation, NADF, you've got ARDA, and there's several blogs that people run, personal blogs, that you can kind of see the day-to-day life too. So the information is out there. What Addison's does is it doesn't let your body produce the hormones that you need to balance the stresses of daily life. I have to pay a lot closer attention to my body. Not just it's in the background, I really have to listen to it. And I have to adjust my medicine accordingly. I have to pay attention to the stresses in my life and the activity levels. I have to eat better. You really have to schedule out time to rest and time to regenerate and give your body the downtime that it needs to kind of function. There are a couple of things that you're going to need to keep with you all the time, preferably 24 hours a day. One of them is a medical ID bracelet or some kind of a tag that lets medical personnel know that if, in case you can't speak for yourself, that you have adrenal insufficiency. The National Adrenal Disease Foundation has a lot of this information already online for you. So you can go there, you can find out what you need on your tag. And they also have these little wallet cards that has your doctor's name, it has your contact information, and it even has the procedure that medical personnel would need to follow in case you can't tell them what it is. And it's all in a little wallet card. My best resources have been people that have been living with it, not necessarily the medical community, because it's still kind of rare. There's not a lot known about it. But I found a group of people that had actually been living with it for 10 years, for 15 years, for however long, and they're doing great. And it was so uplifting to know that I can live an actual normal life with it and not have to worry about that. It's just kind of a phase to figure out, you know, what is going on with me.